Welcome back, everybody, and welcome again to another episode of Just for Fun Games. I'm your host, Jonathan Rodriguez, otherwise known as Azzy, and with me, as always, is my friend Nicholas Murga, otherwise known as Roy. And today, we are talking about Mass Effect, and it feels like an auspicious day to do so because a new trailer dropped, and I have not seen it yet.
All right.
Ah,
So before we get into the main topic of this show, let's go ahead and roll the trailer for you. All right. So.
You were born to do this.
What you think?
my face says it all, right?
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed though, because when they were first talking about the rumored Legendary Edition, that it was delayed because they were doing things to the first Mass Effect. At the end of that trailer, it was the clip when they're showing FemShep. It was the
Yep.
clip from the first Mass Effect where they pulled back and first revealed Shepard, and
Yeah.
they're using the face model they did for Mass Effect 3 in one. So that's one of
Yeah.
the new things they changed.
Well, I was hoping for that. The first Mass Effect needed the most work, the most tender love and care.
Yeah, I mean,
Because like if you look because if you look at progression from the first Mass Effect to the second Mass Effect, there is a jump in visual style, and then they proceed to uh like it's a refined they refined the style in Mass Effect 2, and then they carried it into Mass Effect 3. In the first Mass Effect, they were still experimenting, like workshopping.
it's basically the start of a new franchise. So yeah, you know, it you never know with a new franchise if it's going to succeed or fail. So luckily it did succeed because we wouldn't have all this fandom and stuff right now. But I know what you're talking. I know what you're talking about when it comes to how the first one compares to the second one. I'm not talking about the art style. I'm talking about gameplay. If you want to talk about the gameplay for the first Mass Effect compared to the second one, whew, way better.
Oh yeah.
Now, when
Oh
you
yeah.
get to 3, yeah, they finally tuned it up a little bit. Now, we're not going to go into a deep discussion about that, but starting off with before talking about our topic of the show is our theories. What does Mass Effect mean to you, John?
Mass Effect means it's the franchise that I discovered that I didn't know what the hell it was going to be about. I play plenty of Bioware games by that point. Knights of the Old Republic and Jane Empire being a particular interest. But this first Mass Effect, I remember picking it up at GameStop and just kind of like winging it. It was like it's been a very long time,
Being the first game that I didn't have to get you into.
right? It was one that I just realized
sorry to cut you off,
after
but
the
go
fact.
ahead.
Well, that's what it felt like. It felt like found footage, or just this thing that I was like, oh, Mass Effect. I don't know anything about this. It's made by Bioware. I mean, give it a shot, and then uh, picture the scene from Doctor Strange where the Sorcerer Supreme like opens his mind and sends him hurtling through a fuck ton of dimensions. That was me. That was me. I can't imagine any franchise before or since where I practically just sat there for, I want to say like an hour and a half just listening to the encyclopedia go over every tidbit of this universe that I just got introduced to.
But yeah, Mass Effect, man, to me was a game that came out of nowhere. That, like, if anybody knows me now, is like you talk about one game, and if you talk about Mass Effect to me, I'm gonna be going deep theories and all this other stuff about it. Because I remember my roommate back in college, he had a modded Xbox, and he downloaded 3 modded games. It was Assassin's Creed, Rock Band, and Mass Effect. And Mass Effect wasn't anything I was looking to play. Like I remember booting up the beginning, and I was like, "Yeah, this isn't for me." And I believe when I came back to North Carolina, and I was back here in the hole, I was like, "Man, I want to play something new." And I was like, "That Mass Effect game, I want to try that out again." And good thing I did, because after that, I was like, "That was a good game." Like story, characters, everything, and then carrying it on to 2, 3. We're not going to talk about Andromeda. Sorry. But yeah, it means a lot to me. About to say, well, what am I about to say? Yeah, it means a lot.
It's, oh, hell yeah. Are you kidding? I wanted this franchise to blow up to the point where it would eclipse
Yeah.
certain sci-fi franchises that I feel like have aged poorly.
Yeah, now granted that Mass Effect has played too much of a role, that when I play other games now, it's like this isn't on the Mass Effect level. It doesn't capture the same spirit as Mass Effect. Like I could play, Destiny, or whatever, like Assassin's, like anything like big, like that's supposed to jump out at you right nowadays. It doesn't get me. I can go back and play Mass Effect, and like I literally did the other day, booted up Mass Effect 2 and just start playing, and not get sleepy or get bored with it. And it's one of those games you can play it multiple times, and you can change the way you play. There's different options of things you can do, but I can play that game and do the same damn thing every time and not care and enjoy it.
This is why I love this game so much. When I played the first Mass Effect, I've always been that kid when it came to an RPG, especially if it's an RPG that I fell in love with. My common modus operandi was that I would get damn near to the end. I know I'd have that feeling. It's like, oh my god, the game's gonna end. I don't want it to end yet. So I'd wipe my save and start all over. And I played through the first Mass Effect enough times, I think, to get all the achievements on the Xbox 360. And in each one of those playthroughs, I probably found something I didn't find the previous time.
Oh yeah, that was also the beauty of it too. You think you played this game. Like to this day, I still have not played with the male shepherd. My shepherd was Fem Shep. Okay.
I always have to, when the game gives me the opportunity, I have to personify.
We're gonna show them. Got it signed by goddamn. I don't know what it is with me and names. I cannot remember. But,
blasphemy! You should know
Jennifer
this.
Hale. There we go.
There it is.
I got Jennifer Hale to sign, get an autograph of Fem Shep picture. So
when it's an RPG that allows me to do so, I feel like I have to personify myself in the game. And while I'm not a good enough artist, nor am I so appreciative of my own aesthetics in order to reconstitute myself perfectly in a game. If they have brown skin and black hair, then I'm pretty much fine. So I had to be male Shep.
Hey, look, at least you didn't have a Samuel L. Jackson looking character like I've seen for most people in this game. And like, motherfucker, the fucking Reapers are coming.
Mostly it came out looking like, what if Obama was a Marine?
I'm tell you about the Reaper deal. Anyway.
But anyway. But
Also,
you look at the trilogy.
Hold on a second. We just launched into this video, and I'm sorry, viewers, if you haven't played Mass Effect or any of the franchise part
I don't
of
think we
this,
spoiled it.
spoiler warning. You should go. You know.
I should go.
Of the trilogy, and it's something I want to bring up as we get further into this video. But of the trilogy, while everyone would jump out as saying like, "Oh, Mass Effect 2 was the best. Mass Effect 3 was great," the first Mass Effect is the most important. Not just because it's where the franchise jumped
Yeah.
off at, but when they spent the most time building up this universe, and that's the thing that I loved. You're on the Citadel after the first mission. In said first mission, you're introduced immediately to your first alien race, which is the Turians. And then the moment you get onto the Citadel, you are thrown like, I want to say 8 different kinds of aliens, all just like commingling, like walking around this station. And it's this huge environment. You can stroll over from the human embassy. You can stroll over to the human embassy and go talk to these like elephant people that were called the Elcor and learn about their entire freaking race from their embassy and so on and so forth. Everything was interesting and unique. Nothing I had ever seen before. That's the thing that was the most important to me. It was this just ocean's worth of lore and establishing continuity that I could drown myself in.
Yeah, about to say, I got my Elcor over here. I don't. I know you were busy ranting. I put him up there for you.
Thank you.
So, yeah. But yeah, without talking about too much about Andromeda, like how you said, the first Mass Effect laid out, pretty much this universe they were creating. Andromeda had was pretty much in the same boat, except for it got plagued with development issues, directors changing how the game was supposed to be made. At one point, I believe it was supposed to be like No Man's Sky with a BioWare story.
Skin.
Yeah. I mean, I could go with something like that, but apparently
that was the failing of that game, though. They were making the attempt to essentially reboot the franchise in a whole new universe, but they missed that universe building element.
Yeah,
think about it. Like I estimated that the number of alien races that we encountered in the first Mass Effect was 8. In Andromeda, we got 2. You got the villains, and you got the.
I can't remember.
I'm not even gonna remember their name.
Yeah, that's
don't even.
It don't matter, but it might come into play into our theory section, which I'm not gonna waste any time because we've been digressing about how Mass Effect means to us. So here's the trailer for the next Mass Effect.
We know now that in the early years of the 20th century, this world was being watched.
Roger, copy. Eagle Houston, you're a go for landing, over.
Ventura Station. Unknown vessel approaching. We need first contact protocols.
Humanity now stands as partners in the galaxy.
Hawk 6 is away. Godspeed.
Is anyone receiving this?
Okay, so John, what are your theories for the next Mass Effect?
Well, I feel like it's important to point out that with them releasing the Legendary Edition, this is going to essentially allow the player base to backdoor the decisions they want to make in the original trilogy to carry into this next game. So we shouldn't expect this to involve Andromeda in any which way. I haven't even heard if they're going to be trying to re-release Andromeda for the PlayStation 5 or an updated version or anything like that.
Nah. If you want to play
Don't
that, play it
expect
on
it to
PS4,
involve.
PC, Xbox, whatever. You know.
That's like the one advantage of Andromeda taking place in another galaxy. They can mention the project to send everybody to for everyone to escape to Andromeda, and that's it in this new game. Expect that this one is going to be a continuation, and the only real way that I could see them being able to pull this off is if they eat a bit of humble pie and accept the indoctrination theory and use that as a jumping point.
I'm gonna let you speak your mind. Go ahead.
Well, no, they had what was effectively a giant conundrum when it came to Mass Effect 3 because they kind of gotten themselves into a Peter Molyneux situation. You don't know who that is. He was the lead developer of the Fable franchise for the first 3 games, and he became famous for overpromising on his games.
Infamous.
And the games would never. Oh yeah, infamous. He became infamous for overpromising on his games, and they would never deliver to the extent that he imagined them to be. But he would ramble off on these grandiose ideas. And that same way, BioWare sold us on those grandiose ideas that all of our decisions over the course of 3 whole games were all going to culminate and coalesce in a very unique ending for each of us. And sadly, it did not. It boiled down to which color soda did you prefer? So just like with a Mortal Kombat game, they're really going to need to pick a ending to be canon, because the implications of each of those endings were pretty out there.
I mean,
and
you had destroy, control, and synthesis.
Technically, there were 4.
Four.
The fourth one was everyone dies.
Yeah, right. Everybody dies. Yeah.
And obviously, everyone's not dead. We know that Liara was alive, and she was climbing on a dead Reaper. So you could probably you can obviously cut out that everyone dies. You can probably cut out the notion of synthesis, because then there wouldn't be dead Reapers. So that leaves those 3 possibilities. Either the indoctrination theory, and we're picking up in a game where the Reapers are still a threat, maybe not as big of a threat, but still a threat. Or maybe not as overwhelmingly a threat, but still a threat. Or Commander Shepard used the Crucible to destroy all synthetic life, which robs us of the decision to save the Geth. I felt like that was a horrible thing. And if you don't remember, the red option to destroy all synthetic life in Mass Effect 3 was the only ending that actually had a after credit scene showing that Shepard survived.
Was that the only one?
Or at least appearing like Shepard survived.
Or I thought no, Synthesis had it too. I'm pretty sure it did.
Did it?
Yeah.
No.
I'm pretty sure Synthesis.
Fact check.
I mean, I'm not going to digress, but keep talking about your theory.
The other possibility is Shepard controlling the Reapers, which was the blue option, but also losing his humanity in the process, which could then if they went that way as the canon ending, it could possibly lead up to the notion of Shepard being the villain in this new Mass Effect. But no, I think a better story would be had if that entire ending from Mass Effect 3 was the delusions of a Shepard that was being indoctrinated.
Yeah, you were right. My bad.
Gotcha.
I might say it's been a while since I beat Mass Effect 3, so I think it was probably on my second, because the first playthrough I did Synthesis, then the second one I did Destroy. So that's probably what I was like, he's alive.
Well, you see, now here's the thing. Here's the thing you gotta remember, and this is coming from the guy who sat around reading the the encyclopedia entries or listening to the encyclopedia entries for God knows how long. In this teaser trailer, all we really saw is a dead Reaper and Liara, who is an Asari, and the Asari are a race in Mass Effect that can live for 1,000 years. So there is no guarantee that this next Mass Effect game is going to be within the lifespans of the rest of the cast.
Oh, no.
This could take place 300 years later.
Is it? That's all you got?
No, I mean, I'm just opening the floor.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, now, as far as you saying the trailer had only just Liara and the Dead Reapers, there was more stuff if you paid attention to the actual audio in the beginning and actually going through the planets. They show the Andromeda Galaxy in the beginning.
Did they?
Yeah. You see the Andromeda, and we zoom in into the Milky Way galaxy, but Andromeda's in there. And of course, you hear the audio, I'm going to talk just about the key audio parts. When they said an unknown vessel was approaching, use first contact protocols, hence mentioning the first contact war between humans and the Turians. And then, eventually humans becoming partners of the galaxy and everything. And you hear one part where they say Arc 6 is away, which is, I believe it was the Kila Sia, which I find an odd name for it, which was the vessel for Elcor, Quarian, and some other species. I can't remember all of them.
Hanar?
Yeah, Hanar. And the Drell too. So yeah, there was a book about that, and apparently some disease broke out or something. I can't really remember all the details about it because it's been so long since.
Once upon a time when Andromeda was supposed to get DLC.
Yeah.
They
hinted
Andromeda
at it.
ended with a.
But yeah,
There was supposed to be an aquarium vessel with possibly Tali on it.
Yeah, I highly doubt that. But yeah, so I mean, it could. As far as my theory is, we could probably might be very slim have something to do with the Andromeda Galaxy, because I want to see them making the hints of the arcs and all that. Granted, we saw Liara, so maybe we'll. What is interesting because the Destroy ending not only destroyed any synthetic Geth, Reaper, even anybody who was using synthetics. The mass relays were destroyed as well. Now,
well, they did show them that they're rebuilding the mass relays.
Yeah. Now, see, here's the thing, because this is where it comes into tie with the first Mass Effect game, where the Shepard and the crew went to the planet Ilos, where the Protheans were, and when we were trying to stop Saren from stopping Sovereign from letting all the Reapers come in through the Citadel. The Citadel was another mass relay to the Reapers in the dark space. So, the Protheans were trying to figure out this Mass Effect relay technology. So I can see them, whoever, because even in the ending for Mass Effect 3, the Catalyst even mentions, if you do destroy all synthetic stuff, even though all the things like electronics or whatever, they'll be destroyed, but you're going to be able to rebuild it, but in time. Hence, Liara being old in this trailer. So yeah, I definitely believe they just stuck with the destroy ending.
Does she look old?
Oh yeah, about to say you gotta watch that motherfucker in 4K, buddy. She is old. You see wrinkles and stuff like that. But yeah, I can see them, rebuilding Mass Effect, or the mass relay technology, and if maybe going out to Andromeda. I don't know how many light years it's going to take them. Liara looked old in that trailer, so and somebody might be like, oh, they already in Andromeda. No, they're not, because there were no Reapers in the Andromeda galaxy. It was just Milky Way.
Nope.
So, I mean, as far as the threat for the next game, that one I am not 100% sure, because the Reapers were like the perfect villain for this franchise. Like these guys can't come.
Reapers were this grandiose existential threat.
Yeah, but I say they come every 50,000 years to wipe out any organic life. I mean, their sole
Organic
purpose,
life.
yeah, their sole purpose was to prevent chaos, because apparently we dumbass organics make synthetics that ultimately destroy us. You know, that was the whole point of them.
They were essentially they were essentially the natural forest fire, but for the galaxy.
Yeah. So
you know how there are laws preventing people from actually putting out a natural forest fire. It's to wipe away. It's inevitably it's meant to actually protect the life of the forest, because those forest fires burn away a lot of the foliage that would cause like rot and different issues and such.
Yeah.
So they were the galactic forest fire, meant to actually keep organics in one form or another existing effectively.
Yeah. But on the theory,
I don't feel like we need a giant existential threat. You've created the sandbox. Now just make a story with the toys that you have in it. Like, well, the thing is that like, what I was touching on before, and I wanted to get to it now, is that in the first Mass Effect they introduced us to this world. We get introduced to all these different aliens, but those weren't the only species, not only that were affiliated with the Council, but that were in the Milky Way galaxy to begin with. Those were just the ones that they had included in that game. I remember there were references to like a bird-like race that we didn't get to see.
Yeah, that was the Turians. The Turians were the bird-like people.
Oh no, I'm other than the Turians. Like the Turians are sort of. I'm talking about these were supposed to be like with feathers. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, introduce like it wasn't until Mass Effect 2 that we got to see the Drell.
About to say, the first one had Batarians in it. That was the DLC from the first game.
Yep, that was when they first introduced Batarians. But keep introducing new races. Keep expanding the galaxy out. Show us new planets with different civilizations. Actually, like, I want them to push to also try and help differentiate the races that we already have. Because honestly, when we finally in Mass Effect 3, when we finally got to go to the Solarian homeworld, their tech just looked like everything else. There weren't signs of cultural significance. Like everyone was kind of that Mass Effect generic, whether it was from their buildings, their manner of clothes was just that like same Solarian.
I mean, it's with what technology they had at the time. You got to understand.
No, I get that. I'm not. I totally get that. No judgment. I understand. But that's what makes me so excited for this next game. I really want. Like, I don't feel like we need another existential threat, and I would want them to just continue to build out the Milky Way.
If there's no threat, John, then what's it going to be about?
Terrorists, interracial relations.
I'm about to say I don't want to fight Cerberus. We already did that in Mass Effect 3.
No, forget it.
Now, here's the thing about Andromeda. See, as much as everybody hates that game, I find it okay, and we still don't know who the benefactor was for the whole Andromeda initiative. So that might be the threat. Be like,
well,
hey,
I'm just saying, like,
you never know. I'll say because you never know. It's, like, it could, as far as I'm concerned, it could still be in the Milky Way galaxy. Maybe the people in Andromeda, the Kett took over.
Do you remember? Do you remember the?
Hold on, let me finish. Maybe the Kett takes over and comes to the Milky Way and knows about these Reapers, and they try to bring back the Reapers.
possibly.
I,
People
I
trying
mean,
to
that's a
like,
good idea, but I mean,
just,
as far as
just think of a shady organization somewhat like Cerberus. It doesn't have to be Cerberus. It doesn't have to be humans that are attempting to use defunct Reaper technology in order to take over the galaxy. Like,
Mhm.
think of any Gundam plot or war base plot. Like, what about the race? Remember the Shadow Broker, whatever race he was, whatever planet he came from. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't want to be a part of the council, and they're like, "Screw you guys. I'm going to keep taking over territories, and you have to fight back against them." Like, you can create any kind of story that doesn't necessarily rely on a giant existential threat.
yeah,
It's when you get to that point that then like think of it this way. Uh, I was going to use The Witcher as an example, but there technically is an existential threat in The Witcher. uh,
uh, but yeah, as far as I can tell, you can't have. About to say you can't have another Mass Effect without something. You got to top the Reaper enemy. That's bottom. Like the Kett in Andromeda, no, they no, and I swear to God, it's driving me crazy. I cannot remember the name of that other species. Not the Angara. The no, technically you did got three species in Andromeda. Kett,
are you
Angara, and
counting the ones that
the
built the ruins?
yeah
I forgot what they were
the
called.
machine. Hold on.
The architects or something.
Hold on.
This is sad.
Yeah.
You got to understand how huge of Mass Effect fans we are, and yet Andromeda did us so dirty that we don't remember shit.
I mean, sorry. I mean,
Sorry.
they had good ideas, but
Oh yeah, and that was the other
remnant is what they
thing.
were called.
Okay.
And
I mean,
we don't know who built them. So
yeah, because, but at the same time, it just felt like they were repeating the beats that we already got with the previous three Mass Effects.
yeah, but
Ooh,
they weren't.
ancient technology, where
The
did it come
remnants
from?
weren't there to destroy all life in the galaxy. That's not what that wasn't their purpose.
Their purpose was terraforming. It seems like, but why? No, it's just like the remnants weren't the stand-ins for the Reapers. They were just the stand-ins for the Protheans.
Hey, here's another theory for you. Maybe when the Reapers keep coming, well, I don't know. Kind of defunks my theory anyway. Damn, I already defunct myself. I was gonna say maybe when the Reapers destroy organic life in that galaxy, they would go into dark space and go to Andromeda and then start the new civilization over there. But obviously that wasn't the case, because then the Angara was made by the Reapers, then yeah, no.
But remember, the Angara were made by the Revenant. They weren't even natural.
Yeah, so
And the other guys, weren't they also Angara?
yeah,
Or they were at least like using the Angara or something along those lines.
something.
Yeah.
I played it once, beat it once.
The entire
done.
Andromeda galaxy, not a single sign of intelligent life other than the artificial life that was created there by an ancient civilization whose remnants don't.
That's the brilliant thing about space. It's always a mystery, man. You never know what's out there, what you're gonna discover. Which
I'm just saying, like it could be a thing of where you can set the entire game on Omega and have it be like a giant crime story with the sci-fi twist. It'll be Mass Effect, but yeah, you could be playing as Arya, and like there's gang wars you have to deal with.
See,
there's tons of stories that you can do in this series.
Yeah, see, that's where
I wouldn't do the First Contact War though.
No.
It does not last very long,
and they're not going to do the contact. They wouldn't show Liara and Dead Reapers. Obviously, at that point, it's no point of doing First Contact War. I would have been fine if the first game was already like that, but it wasn't. But as far as playing as like Arya or Liara for the next game, I don't think that either. Somehow, as much as I don't want to say it, I think Shepard will come back. Just because the Citadel DLC with the evil clone, I don't know. I mean, as much as I hate to go back to the Andromeda system, maybe the benefactor could have been somebody from Cerberus and had another Shepard clone on one of those arcs. You never know.
I think, nah. If we see Shepard again, I feel like it's going to be a cameo appearance, not unlike the your character from Dragon Quest or Dragon Age 2, who appears in Inquisition.
Oh, see, didn't beat the first one.
the example still stands. I wouldn't sit there and say that we're not we're probably definitely going to see Shepard if this takes place within a period of time that Shepard would be alive had he survived. But we're not going to be playing as him.
Yeah.
The other cool thing is, say this does take place 400 years in the future. Obviously, Liara is still alive, but you know who else is still alive?
Who you got?
Grunt, or not Rex. Krogan have super long lifespans.
Yeah, they had to get him in check.
So we
hence
could
the
see
Jennifer
those
age.
returning characters. Yep.
If I probably want any one of those two, what was it, Krogan? Yeah, Krogan. If I want any of those two Krogan back, I'll probably pick. Grunt.
See that is. I love Grunt. But I liked him how he looked. It would suck if we got an older Grunt that looked like a regular old Krogan with like the full hardened like head plate.
I just like that part in the Citadel DLC. I don't know if it was Rex or Grunt when they were trying to sneak into something and he just fell.
Oh, he was trying to escape from the hospital.
I was like, oh.
Yeah. But that's gonna be the other headache with this game is how do you everyone's already been burned about all of their decisions making into the final game or mattering in the final game. Best example of that is the Rachni.
I love the Rachni.
I loved them too, and I would have liked to see what an entire insectoid race that is supremely intelligent and, when not being influenced, perfectly benign. They were capable of space travel. They had ships. What would a Rachni ship look like? And sadly, they weren't able to actually show us any of that.
They showed them in the final battle in 3.
No,
they didn't.
They weren't there. Nope. After
let me get the first game trying to bring them back and not trying to kill the queen, and then getting making husk versions of Rachni in part 3. I didn't do all that shit not to see these motherfucking shit.
That's kind of what I was. That was one of the things I was disappointed about with Mass Effect 3. But they took that decision from us. They rather than coming up, and granted, this could go back to development time and the constraints of game design, but rather than coming up with an entirely different enemy that the Reapers could have engineered and or repurposed, they took that choice from us. Had you killed the Rachni Queen in the first Mass Effect, the Reapers would have just made a Rachni Queen, an artificial Rachni Queen, and would have started pumping out artificial Rachni to act as enemies. Yeah. If you the majority of us save the Rachni Queen, then she would just get captured again, and you have to save her. And then again, they make you make the exact same choice you made 2 games ago. Do you save the Rachni Queen for a second time, or do you kill her? And then if you save her, the most you get is you get an email from people working on the Crucible saying that they're kind of weirded out with all these bugs running around, but they're really good workers. And they know what they're doing. But if you were to look up the Rachni encyclopedia entry, or the whole part about the Rachni war with the Krogan, the whole reason why the Krogan were elevated, they had ships. They were an advanced society, and we don't really get to see much of anything for them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that that's why the Krogan were made to get rid of the Rachni problem anyway. And then
The Solarian,
Solarians and the
with the
Turians.
Turians,
No,
yeah,
it was both Solarian
they
and
elevated
Turians.
they elevated the Krogan and basically just used them as a blunt weapon to beat back the Rachni. And then they left them with all their nuclear weapons, and they went to war with themselves. Krogan
Yeah.
Rebellion.
So,
Um,
I'll say on that, I want to go ahead and get to the point where I ask you, who's your favorite Mass Effect character?
Garrus Vakarian.
Okay, I'll let you slide. You can't see it because my chair's in the way. I gotta.
I can't see it.
I say.
I can't see it because I can't.
Yeah, I know,
I
it's
can only
out
see
of
myself
focus,
right
but
now.
It's over there. I got a drawing by Ben Temple-Smith to do. The guy who did the Dead Space animated comic. I made him draw that for me.
Yeah.
So I got
Okay.
me nice
Cool.
Garrus Vakarian, but he is not my favorite character. My favorite character is Legion. Odd choice. I just love him.
No, but a good choice though.
Yeah, because
That's
you're fighting Geth the whole
If
first
we're right.
game, and then you get to the second game,
Yeah.
and you're like, this motherfucker, he's talking to me. He's got my armor.
Yep. They immediately
What's going
they
on?
it immediately challenges your preconceptions. Garrus is, or I'm sorry, Legion is one of the best examples of the value of the storytelling in the Mass Effect franchise, and how it can make you start to question not just morality, but also just your understanding of what what makes a person. Because no matter how many times we talked to Legion, no matter how much we learned about the Geth in general, which yet another race, effectively, he has to remind you that he isn't really a person. He doesn't attain sentience for
He's a
himself
combination of
until
all Geth.
yeah, there's like 1,000 different individual Geth all in Legion, thus his name. Geth are software, not hardware. That's why they can. That's why Death isn't like the death of the shell isn't the same as.
Hey, this unit has a soul.
Does this unit have a soul?
No, this does, motherfucker. You played it right. Mass Effect 3. Tally said, "Yes, Legion, you do have a soul."
Yes, but that was the question that set off. That was the question that set off the Geth Rebellion in the first place. Like in the first game, we learn about the Geth as a threat, and how they essentially were supposed to act like a microcosm for the Reapers in general. These were synthetic creatures, or synthetic a racist synthetics rebelling against their masters, trying to kill all organics. And really, it's then in Mass Effect 3 you find out, wait, they're just trying to survive. It was almost like they ripped the story from the anime Matrix, where you find out like how the whole fight against the machines and humanity started, and it's because the machines tried to survive. That it was effectively that. Like every act of aggression the Geth took was self-preservation, because their masters tried to end them and they didn't want to die. And it all sparked from a single question: does this unit have a soul?
Could have ended with like, nope, bye, click.
And that's what makes it so hard.
Yeah.
Like, logically speaking, the easiest thing that they could do is to canonize the red ending, the destroy ending. But that would mean that the Geth would die too.
I mean, because hence
Again, feeling like it was robbing us from a choice that we would make.
I would hate to prove the catalyst right, where if the destroy ending was the correct ending, and say the chaos will come back and the peace won't last. So I don't know. Maybe the Geth can come back some way or form. You know, somebody wants to get curious.
But then it would turn my particular choice. at the end of Tali and Legion's story in Mass Effect 3 into such a tragic one, and it would have been done by my hand. If you're unaware, and I can give you a cliff notes, you get thrown into the conflict between the Quarians who had created the Geth and the Geth's fight for survival, and you're trying to broker some kind of peace, and it's hard won. And in a bid to survive, the Geth adapt Reaper technology, which makes them more coordinated and really starts ripping apart the Quarian fleet. And you are set on this precipice. You could either side with the Quarians and the Geth would all die, or you could side with the Geth and the Quarians would all die. But then if you worked at it, there was a third choice where you could broker peace. And by doing that, you were able to convince the Geth and the Quarians that they can coexist. But in order to free the Geth, this character Legion that you've been growing so fond of for 2 games has to sacrifice himself in order to bestow upon each of the Geth sentience.
Yeah.
And it's only just while he spent the majority of the game referring to himself as us and we, it's only shortly before his death that he refers to himself as I.
Damn it. Stop trying to get me all emotional. I've been watching so much Mass Effect stuff after that trailer came out. I have not watched that scene.
But you know what could preserve them? The indoctrination theory.
No.
Why don't you explain why you do not like the indoctrination theory?
Because the Catalyst said he wasn't indoctrinated. When the
Catalyst is a part of the system.
At the end, when
the Catalyst is an illusion.
He had to make a choice. You had the control option, and he's like, "Oh, so the Lucid Man was right. We could control the Reapers." And the Catalyst says, "Yes, but he couldn't control the Reapers since he was under our control. But you are not."
Yeah, not like he was possibly trying to manipulate Shepard at all.
It's like, yeah, man, you're not under our control. Do the thing, do the thing, do the thing.
Well, but take a moment. After you're done watching this video, go to the Game Theorist and look up their video covering the indoctrination theory, because I can't sum it up.
Yeah, I'll put it in the link for the viewers as well.
Yeah, we'll put a link to it down in the bottom, because there is precedent for a lot of the things that we saw in Mass Effect 3 that could lead to the possibility that Commander Shepard had been indoctrinated. And to be honest, the simplest explanation you can have is that just by being around Reaper technology, it gives off a signal that slowly begins to corrupt you. And you playing the main character, you fought against Sovereign in the first game, you fought against a Proto-Reaper in the second game, and then you were battling Reapers all throughout Mass Effect 3. It could have been an accumulative thing leading up to the final moments where Mass Effect 3, it ends with you making this mad dash towards the Crucible or something along those lines.
I think it was like the Crucible, like the one. It was the only way you could get back up to the Citadel. That's what they were trying to get back.
And you were being interrupted by Harbinger, and you get blasted, and yet somehow survive, and somehow make it up there, and then all this shit goes down. It's at that moment that people think that from that point on, Shepard was indoctrinated.
I just remember the memes.
It would be tragic.
Trying to save us from the bad ending.
It would be tragic. It'd be tragic, and it would. But maybe that's the only reason why anyone has survived to this point. If this is we believe that this is a direct sequel, the Reapers could still be a threat, but it could be a thing of Shepard is now maybe the Control ending is actually the canon ending. I
Well,
like
John,
that idea better than the idea that we destroyed all synthetics and it robs us of the Geth.
You just want the Geth back. That's all it is.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But it would still work, though, right? And it would be a means of adapting the indoctrination theory without having to completely dip out of the original choices that were given. Just roll the indoctrination theory into the control ending.
Well, John,
The synthetic end, the synthesis ending will never be continued into it because
no,
it's just
no,
too
no,
confusing. And how the hell?
I got
What?
this
All
glowing
robots are now
shit.
organics, and now all organics are now robots because they all have glowing tattoos. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be. It's trippy for the sake of being trippy. It's not gonna. We're not going anywhere with that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That's our video for Mass Effect. What do you believe is going to happen in the next Mass Effect game? Please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time.
Hey, make sure you put down in the comments. This is my favorite channel on the Citadel.
There you go. I'll keep that in there.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite channel on the Citadel.
What's Just for Fun Games? All right. Till next time.